Now, we saw three rules by which we can determine which planets have got Digbala. The first one was occupation by the planet itself of a particular Kendra. The second was the star lord occupies the Kendra instead of the planet. Even then, the planet gets Digbala. Third was the planet is situated in the constellation of that Kendra Lord itself. Then the planet gets Digbala. Now we've already seen these three rules. Now let us move on to the fourth rule. Fourth rule is the aspect. Fourth rule is gaining Digbala through aspect. So how a planet can gain Digbala? So if the Kendra Lord, that particular Kendra Lords, as we have said already, Jupiter and Mercury are associated with the Lagna, Moon and Venus gain Digbala from the fourth house, Saturn, Rahu from the seventh house, Sun, Mars and Ketu from the 10th house. So these particular Kendra Lords aspect these planets. That is, if 10th Lord aspects Sun, Mars and Ketu, if 7th Lord aspects Saturn and Rahu, if 4th Lord aspects Moon and Venus, or Lagna Lord aspects Jupiter and Mercury, then those particular planets gain Digbala. Now let us look at an example for this rule. So let us take this Lagna. Let us take Gemini Lagna, Mithuna Lagna. So Gemini Lagna is here. Let us see how Sun gains Digbala in this particular example. Now Sun gains Digbala if it is associated with the 10th house. For Mithuna Lagna, Gemini Lagna, 10th house is Pisces. Pisces Lord is Jupiter. So we can see that Sun is not posited in the 10th house, but Sun is sitting in the second house. It is being aspected by 10th Lord Jupiter. Jupiter has a special aspect, 9th aspect. It is being aspected by Jupiter. So Jupiter being the 10th Lord aspects Sun. So Sun gains Digbala. So Jupiter aspects Sun. Jupiter 10th Lord aspects Sun. Sun is not posited in the 10th house. But since 10th Lord Jupiter aspects Sun, Sun gains Digbala here. So this is the fourth rule. So when the Kendra Lord aspect of Kendra Lord of the planet, when the Kendra Lord aspects that planet gets a Digbala. So in case of Sun, Sun gains Digbala from the 10th house. 10th Lord Jupiter is aspecting Sun, in this case of a Mithuna Lagna native. So Jupiter from Scorpio is having the 9th aspect on Sun. So Sun has gained Digbala. Okay, let us look at another example with the same Mithuna Lagna. Now let us consider the second example for the same situation. Now we have seen how Sun gains Digbala. Let us look at how Moon can gain Digbala through this rule in this example chart. Let us consider same Mithuna Lagna. Moon gains Digbala through the 4th house. Here for Mithuna Lagna, 4th house is Virgo. Virgo Lord is Mercury. So Mercury is the 4th Lord here. So as per this rule, aspect of Kendra Lord on the planet. So here, through this rule, Moon can gain Digbala if 4th Lord here Mercury aspects it. So here, in this example, we can see that Moon is not posited in the 4th house. Still it gains Digbala because here 4th Lord Mercury is here. This 4th Lord Mercury is aspecting Moon. Moon gains Digbala from the 4th house. 4th Lord Mercury is aspecting Moon. Hence, Moon gains Digbala. So, Moon gains Digbala through the 4th rule because the Kendra Lord, because of aspect of Kendra Lord, because of the aspect of 4th Lord on Moon, Moon gains Digbala through this 4th rule. Now, let us move on to the 5th rule. Let us move on to the 5th rule now. You'll have to pay a little more attention here. So in the fourth rule, we said that, the previous rule, we discussed that a planet gains Digbala when the Kendra Lord aspects the planet itself. So we have seen examples of Sun and Moon. Here, it's a little more detail you'll be getting into in this rule. That is, here we'll say that in this fifth rule, the planet gains Digbala if the Kendra Lord aspects the constellation Lord of the planet. If the Kendra Lord aspects, previous rule was Kendra Lord is aspecting the planet itself. If Sun has to gain Digbala, then 10th Lord needs to aspect the Sun. That is the fourth rule. If Moon needs to gain Digbala, 4th Lord has to aspect the Moon. That is the fourth rule. But in fifth rule, we are saying that if Sun and Moon have to gain Digbala, if Sun and Moon will gain Digbala or Sun will gain Digbala, if 10th Lord aspects the constellation Lord of Sun. Need not aspect Sun, but if it aspects the star Lord of Sun also, it will gain Digbala. So that is the fifth rule. Fifth rule we are saying that the planet gains Digbala if the Kendra Lord aspects the constellation Lord of the planet. So let us look at an example with Mercury. So we'll take Makar Lagna. Okay, Makar Lagna, Capricorn Lagna for this case. How does Mercury gain Digbala? Mercury gains Digbala through the Lagna, the first house. We will see an example. Okay, so Mercury gains Digbala through Lagna. This is Makar Lagna. According to our rule, what are we saying here? We are saying that Mercury can gain Digbala if the Kendra Lord. Here Kendra Lord is Lagna Lord here because we are talking about Mercury. Because Mercury gains Digbala from the Lagna. Okay, so what are we saying? So of Kendra, we'll talk about Lagna here because we're talking about Mercury. So aspect of Lagna Lord on the constellation Lord of Mercury, then Mercury gains Digbala. So here this is a Makar Lagna example. We have taken Makar Lagna as the example here. Who's the Lagna Lord here? Saturn. Now where is Mercury? Mercury is sitting in Leo. Lagna Lord is Saturn. Now through this rule, how Mercury will gain Digbala? If Lagna Lord aspects the constellation Lord of Mercury, then Mercury will gain Digbala. Now let us see. Mercury is situated in Leo in Pubba Nakshatra. So Mercury is in Leo in Pubba Nakshatra. Pubba Nakshatra star Lord is Venus. Now where is Venus? Venus is sitting in Virgo. Venus is sitting in Virgo. Here Saturn is having 10th aspect on Venus. Saturn, Lagna Lord, is having 10th aspect on Venus. Now who is Venus here? Venus is the constellation Lord. Venus is the star Lord of Mercury. So little more detail you will have to see when you are looking at Nakshatra Digbala. So when we spoke about five-way connection there through star Lord, the planet gains Digbala we spoke about. So this is the level of detail, level of scrutiny that you'll have to jump into in a chart to look at which planets are gaining Digbala. So here if you see, what are we saying here in this rule? That Kendra Lord, and particularly be it Lagna Lord, 4th Lord, 7th Lord, 10th Lord, whatever the planets need for Digbala, if those particular lords are aspecting the star lord also, that planet will gain Digbala. So what are we saying here? This Lagna Lord is aspecting Venus, right? Saturn has a 10th aspect. Saturn is the Lagna Lord. Saturn has a 10th aspect on Venus. Saturn 7, 8, 9, 10. Saturn, Lagna Lord, has a 10th aspect on Venus. Venus is the constellation Lord of Mercury. So, Mercury has gained Digbala. Mercury has gained Digbala, we are saying. How is Mercury gained Digbala? Here Saturn is aspecting Venus. Venus is the Lagna Lord. Venus is the constellation Lord of Mercury. Because Lagna Lord is aspecting Mercury's constellation Lord, Mercury has gained Digbala. So through the fifth Lord aspect of Lagna Lord on the constellation Lord. So Mercury is not sitting in the Lagna here. Mercury is sitting in Leo, but it is sitting in Puba Nakshatra. Puba Nakshatra star lord is Venus. Here Lagna lord for Makar Lagna is Saturn. Saturn is aspecting the constellation lord of Mercury. So Mercury gains Digbala. Okay? I hope you understand this. Let us do another example to get further clarity. Now let us look at another example for the same Makar Lagna. So what did we say here? Through the aspect of Kendra Lord on constellation Lord. So let us see how Rahu will get Digbala in this example chart. So how Rahu gets Digbala? Rahu gets Digbala from the 7th Kendra, the 7th house. So the Kendra Lord here is the 7th Lord. So Rahu in this rule will get Digbala when the 7th Lord aspects the constellation Lord of Rahu. When 7th Lord aspects constellation Lord of Rahu, then Rahu will get Digbala. Right? So let us see how Rahu is getting Digbala in this Makar Lagna example. So let us take Makar Lagna. Who is the 7th Lord here? 7th Lord for Makar Lagna is Moon. Okay? So here Moon should aspect the constellation Lord of Rahu. So Rahu is sitting here in the 2nd house. Rahu is sitting in Dhanishta Nakshatra. Dhanishta star lord is Mars. Okay, Rahu is sitting in Dhanishta Nakshatra. Dhanishta star lord is Mars. Mars, here 7th lord Moon from Aries aspects Mars in Libra. Mars is the constellation lord of Rahu. 7th lord Moon aspects the constellation lord of Rahu, that is Mars. So Rahu has gained Digbala in this horoscope. Okay, let us revisit it once again. So according to the 5th rule, planet will gain Digbala when there is an aspect of Kendra Lord on the constellation Lord. We are talking now about, we are seeing how Rahu will gain Digbala in this Makar Lagna chart using this 5th rule. So how will Rahu gain Digbala? Rahu will gain Digbala from the 7th house. So as per this rule, when 7th Lord, so 7th Lord here is, Makar Lagna is Moon. When 7th Lord Moon aspects the constellation Lord of Rahu, Rahu will gain Digbala. See here what has happened? 7th Lord Rahu is situated in the star of Mars. 7th Lord Moon is aspecting Mars from Aries. Mars is in Libra. 7th Lord Moon is in Aries. Moon is aspecting Mars. So since 7th Lord Moon is aspecting the constellation Lord Mars, Rahu, constellation Lord of Rahu is Mars. So 7th Lord Moon is aspecting Mars. Rahu has gained Digbala. Okay, this is the 5th rule. So we are saying that beautifully how through star lord that planet gains Digbala. Let us move on to the 6th rule now. Now, let us look at the 6th rule. 6th rule is pretty straightforward. Conjunction of Kendra Lord with the planet. So earlier we saw that a planet gets Digbala when the Kendra Lord aspects the planet. In this rule we are saying that a planet gains Digbala when the Kendra Lord is in conjunction with the planet itself. It's a pretty straightforward rule. So what are we saying here? Now Jupiter and Mercury are there. They get Digbala from the Lagna. If Jupiter and Mercury are in conjunction with the Lagna Lord, it gains Digbala. So let us look at the same example. We'll look at Makar Lagna again. Makar Lagna itself, let us take and see. Through this rule, let us see how Venus will gain Digbala. So Venus gains Digbala from which Kendra? Venus gains Digbala from the 4th house. Venus gains Digbala from the 4th house. So let us apply this rule here. Conjunction of Kendra Lord with the planet. So what is the planet under consideration? Venus. Venus gets Digbala from which Kendra? From the 4th house. So Venus will gain Digbala in this rule. How will it gain Digbala? When it is in conjunction with the 4th Lord. So conjunction of 4th Lord with Venus. Then Venus gains Digbala. Venus gains Digbala when it is in conjunction with the 4th Lord. So what is this? This is a Makar Lagna horoscope. Where is Venus? Venus is sitting in Virgo. Now how Venus will gain Digbala? When it is in conjunction with the 4th Lord. So what is the 4th Lord here? 4th Lord is, 4th house is Aries. Aries Lord is Mars. So 4th Lord is Mars. Here Venus and Mars are in conjunction. So Venus is in conjunction with the 4th Lord Mars. So Venus gains Digbala. With this rule. Why Venus gains Digbala? Venus is not positioned in the 4th house. Because Venus is in conjunction with 4th Lord Mars, it's pretty straightforward. Even when it's in conjunction with the Kendra Lord, that planet will get Digbala. So Venus is with 4th Lord Mars. So Venus gains Digbala. Okay, so let us repeat it once again. So conjunction of Kendra Lord. Which Kendra Lord? That Kendra Lord from where that planet gains Digbala. So Venus, we are now for example, we are taking Venus in this example. So when you are taking Venus, which Kendra will you consider? We will consider the 4th house. Because Venus gains Digbala from the 4th house. So conjunction of that house lord, that Kendra lord with the planet is this rule. So Venus gains Digbala from the 4th house. So when Venus is anywhere in this horoscope in conjunction with the 4th lord, then Venus will gain Digbala. So here, Lagna, Makar Lagna, 4th Lord is Mars. Venus in Virgo, it is in conjunction with 4th Lord Mars. Hence, it has gained Digbala. Now let us look at quickly with another example. Okay, now let us see the same. We saw Venus as an example. Now let us take another planet and try to understand this example further. Now let us take another example. Same Makar Lagna I have taken. Now let us see how Sun will gain Digbala through this rule. So how will Sun gain Digbala through this rule? What have we said? Conjunction of Kendra Lord with the planet. So when we are talking about Sun, Sun gains Digbala from which Kendra? Sun gains Digbala from the 10th house. So instead of Kendra Lord, we'll say 10th Lord here. So Sun will gain Digbala how through this rule? Conjunction of 10th Lord with the Sun. So when Sun in a horoscope is in conjunction with the 10th Lord, then Sun gains Digbala. Right? Now we are again talking about Makar Lagna. Makar Lagna. In Makar Lagna, who is the 10th Lord? 10th Lord is Venus. Right? So here what are we seeing? Sun and Venus are in conjunction with each other in the, we'll see in the 5th house here. Sun and Venus are in conjunction with each other. So that's why Sun gains Digbala. How does it gain Digbala? Venus is 10th Lord. Sun gains Digbala from 10th house. So through this rule, conjunction of Kendra Lord with the planet. We are talking about Sun. When we are talking about Sun, which Kendra? We are talking about 10th house here. Because Sun gains Digbala from the 10th house. So when Sun is in conjunction with the 10th Lord, through this rule, when Sun is in conjunction with 10th Lord, Sun gains Digbala. So in this horoscope, Sun is in conjunction with 10th Lord Venus. Right? Sun is in conjunction with 10th Lord Venus. So, Sun gains Digbala in this Makara Lagna example. I'll repeat once again for further clarity. Sixth rule is conjunction of Kendra Lord with the planet. Lagna is Makara Lagna, Capricorn. We are talking about Sun. Sun gains Digbala from the 10th house. Here in Makar Lagna, 10th Lord is Venus. Sun and Venus are in conjunction with each other. Because Sun is in conjunction with 10th Lord Venus, Sun has acquired Digbala. I hope you have understood this rule. We'll move on to the 7th rule now.